Bachira, Shidou, and Barou, the Tier 2, a debate even more contentious than that of Isagi, Kaiser, and Rin. As your host today, I will be settling the debate once again. As per usual, we'll break down these strikers across the most important categories, including weapon, goal scoring ability, 1v1 ability, adaptability, playmaking, and overall game impact. For each category, points will be awarded, 3 for first, 2 for second, and 1 for last. By the end, the totals will reveal who truly is the best Tier 2 striker in Blue Lock. Beginning with the monster, Bachira Meguru. He represents the eccentric forward archetype. He has an elastic dribbling style, without a doubt the best in Blue Lock in this regard. He also has a great passing ability, and of course his monster trance, Bachira's very own flow state, which includes weapons such as Jinga X Monster and also the Monster Lift. Next we have the demon Shidou Ryusei. He represents the poacher archetype. Shidou is a striker who exclusively plays with the objective of scoring goals. For notable weapons, we have a dominant physicality. Shidou is a physically imposing player who had the strength to kick back Kunigami in Season 1, smash up Rin in a fight in Season 2, and then despite the clamping, he was at least able to contend physically, holding his own against a motivated and potentially roided Kunigami. We also know about Shidou's instinctual play arising from his extreme spatial awareness. This ability is unique, making him a player with a vision style geared towards the goal always and not other players on the field. Finally, Shidou has one more flagship trait, his versatile shooting ability. Just to list some of Shidou's shot types, we have drive shot, no look shot, reverse spinning shot, dragon drive heading, and of course when he taps into his flow state, which he can easily access, the Big Bang drive. Plus, on top of all of that, Shidou is a confirmed user of the Predator Eye. Now it's time for the final contender of today's video. In my opinion, the most underrated pick of the three, the King Barou Shoei. Barou falls under the complete forward archetype. This means Barou is a very well-rounded, possessing great technical ability, clinical finishing, and physical prowess, enabling him to fulfill multiple roles. Barou is also a confirmed user of the Predator Eye. He has used this weapon to hone his scoring ability, leading to the creation of the stealth kill shot as well as the double nutmeg shot. Now that we've established the basis for the three contenders, let's rank the weapons. In first place I have Shidou, in second Barou, and third Bachira. This is not to say Bachira's weapons are inherently worse, but we have to factor the position they're contending for, the striker position. Shidou and Barou's weapons are better tailored for the striker position than Bachira, and the reason why I put Shidou above Barou in this category is simply due to his shooting versatility. As a ground and aerial threat, I feel like his weapons on the surface could cause more trouble for any defense he comes up against. The next category to focus on is goal scoring ability. I've actually gone for the same rankings in this category, placing Shidou in the number 1 position, Barou again as number 2, and Bachira ranked as number 3. Now, I am aware this is a controversial ranking, considering Barou scored 7 goals in the NEL, Bachira 5, and then Shidou the least, scoring 4 total goals. However, my positioning makes sense once we apply context. Shidou Ryusei joined the France Stratum in the Neo Egos League, which meant he had to share a team with Rin Itoshi, who is arguably the worst person to share a team with if you would like to maximize your goal count. And despite not receiving the same amount of playtime, since PXG initially played a 2-team format, which I suspect favoured Rin, Shidou was still almost able to reach the same goal tally as Bachira, who was clearly the star man and primary goal scorer of FC Barca, and if you've been reading for a while, also known as FC Bachira. I also wanted to call back upon the variety of shooting styles I listed earlier. For these reasons, I have decided to go against the grain and give Shidou the number 1 position for this category. After that, I followed the NEL goal rankings, as Barou and Bachira played in similar contexts, but Barou was able to score more goals. The next category is 1v1 ability. Straight away, Bachira takes the number 1 position here. As I mentioned earlier, his elastic dribbling style is undoubtedly the best in Blue Lock. A universally agreed fact amongst the community, King Barou claims second. As a well-rounded striker, we have seen a competent dribbling ability from the first selection all the way to the Neo Egos League. Rainbow flicks, nutmegs, Ronaldo chops. He is really much better dribbler than most Blue Lock fans give him credit for. Then we have Shidou in third, and I swear to God, I couldn't think of any dribbling feats this man has to compete with Barou, so we'll just leave it at that. Moving swiftly now, we are already up to adaptability, and my ranking might surprise you, so give me the opportunity to set the stage first. Barou started Blue Lock as the selfish king. At one point, even the same Team X who he was carrying began to turn on him. His real troubles began in the second selection. In the 3v3 match with Isagi and Nagi and his team, for most of the game, Barou was simply a hindrance to them. After being humbled by Isagi, Barou did not crumble, but instead weaponized his weakness, becoming the darkness who can thrive off other people's light. This is just one example which showed he could redefine his entire playstyle mid-game to avoid irrelevance. Then we have the most recent example. In the Neo Egos League, Barou was playing under the management of Mark Snuffy, canonically the best overall player in the world. To suddenly see Barou adapting his ego to an unfamiliar system by including defensive pressing and tactical positioning, and also how upon awakening Predator Eye, he learned to strike opportunistically on transitions instead of always immediately demanding the ball. This showed great systematic adaptability, and I don't even need to elaborate on the death in a blaze of glory goal. Barou takes the number 1 position in this category. Bachira slots right in the middle as the number 2 ranked player for this category, as he has at least shown us some ability to adapt mid-game. For example, his initial awakening of the monster trance. Also, just the fact that I'm so disappointed in Shidou since the PXG game. The fact that he spent 20 chapters being locked up by Kunigami with no attempt to innovate, only re-entering the game once Kunigami had been subbed off is ridiculous, especially since Kaneshiro is clearly trying to market Shidou as Blue Lock's number 3. Anyways, let's move on to our penultimate category, playmaking. Finally, Bachira's talent in passing will come in handy. We all know Bachira is one of Blue Lock's best passers, and we have seen this been put into practice consistently in every arc, including the Neo Egos League, where he scored 5 goals but also provided 2 assists. One of those assists being for Otoya to score on the back of Chris Prince, by the way. Barou and Shidou, however, have no confirmed assists, but Barou should be thanking Snuffy right now for rigorous tactical play which he had been forced to partake in, as Barou demonstrating he can be involved in the build-up play for Ubers, while not to the extent of Lorenzo and Nico, still showed us that he is above Shidou in this regard. Because bro, if Charles wasn't in PXG, that is actually such a big void which I don't think people speak about enough. The only form of playmaking we saw from Shidou was that surprise pass to Rin to try initiate a genius x genius chemical reaction, and whilst it is a start, because no result was derived from it, I cannot award enough merit to rank him above Barou in this category. Bachira takes the number 1 position, Barou takes number 2, and Shidou falls in 3rd. Finally, we have reached the decider. Overall game impact. I will reintroduce this concept as I don't think everyone who watched the video last week got the memo. Overall game impact needs to be considered on a spectrum. This means we must weight all the actions, including positive and negative contributions, to reach an overall fair conclusion. Let's ask ourselves, how does Bachira contribute to his team? Bachira doesn't just score, he is one of a few select players in Blue Lock who create opportunities for himself and his teammates from scratch if he needs to. We've seen this in the U20 World Cup. He's already scored a goal himself and provided an assist to Rayo. His presence impacts every phase of the attack, meaning if you were to take him out of the team, we would experience a ripple effect through the entire pitch. Plus, his consistency of involvement is the best, being able to create passing lanes and dictate the flow of the game when he isn't going for the goal himself. This is a player with the ability to uplift the entire team's level of play, not just himself. For these reasons, I rank Bachira in 1st as the player with the highest overall game impact. Barou falls into 2nd here, as his presence is more concentrated in the final 3rd, but his ability to evolve mid-game shouldn't be taken lightly. Being able to consistently find a way to score, especially when directly countered, is a great trait to have. What put him ahead of Shidou for me was his reliability. Barou has an ego which forces him to stay relevant in the story no matter the context. That means no sudden disappearing for long stretches. His stubbornness actually guarantees consistent impact. Shidou falls into 3rd because his impact on the field feels restricted to just goal scoring and creating chaos. He is simply too one-dimensional, and I think he is currently being wasted by the author. Bear in mind, Shidou was arguably Blue Lock's best striker coming into the Neo Egos League after his performance in the U20 match. I think Shidou has such a high ceiling, but the current scope in his character is simply too narrow. We still don't know his backstory even, which is so crazy. So as things stand, Shidou's impact is only truly felt in specialist scenarios, whilst the other 2 players have shown they can bring impact on a more universal scale. And so that's officially coverage of all the categories, everyone. After computing the scores with the respectable but somewhat disappointing 10 points, in 3rd we have Shidou Ryusei. Please give Shidou a new weapon, Kaneshiro. Improved dribbling, just do anything which adds more dimension to his play, because right now he's just falling lower and lower. Now, here is a special twist which I didn't expect to happen in the production of this video. With a total of 13 points, we have a tie for the first time. Both Bachira and Barou finished with a total of 13 points, leaving them both as the joint winners. But I'm not convinced you guys will be happy with this result. So tell me down below, who do you think should be crowned as the winner? Bachira or Barou? And be prepared to explain why. I'm looking forward to hearing from you all, and once again, thank you so much for the continued support. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.